Kia ora, ko Chae Simpson tōku ingoa no rongo mai wahine a hau. Cool. I think one of the biggest challenges in developing programs or interventions in the community is assuming that we have to know everything before we implement or before we go to. And the reality of things is that you will never ever have a perfect model. In order for it to be applicable, it has to continually change and adapt to what the community wants or whoever you're running it for wants. If you design a program that is not tailored to what they want, does not meet what they need, and is nothing that they like, they won't come. You won't get retention and you won't get results. If you don't understand or try to put yourself in their shoes and how they live their lives, you'll never be able to design a program that really fits for them and works for them and makes those long-term changes. And essentially, ideally, that's what we want. We want long-term changes, not quick fixes. And to do that, we really have to understand. And that means constantly asking everyone whether they feel like you're getting things right. And the other side of that is that when you ask them, then they feel involved and they feel engaged, and it feels a lot less like doing to and doing with. It feels more like doing with, like you're partnering with them, coaching them, facilitating with them for them, not doing to them, which, nobody likes that. So, and then you get that ownership and engagement, and they will keep coming because then they feel that responsibility that it's about them and it's for them and they're a part of it. So yeah, and that's definitely been the case for us, because we managed to achieve in our first cohort 100% retention over an 8-week program in the middle of winter with people with kids, which is, you never get that. No one wants to keep going to something. Even through sickness and illness, people just keep coming and retaining it because they had that sense of ownership, that real connection, that really, it was something that they wanted and it worked for them. We've got the 3 communities that we're working at in the moment, being Te Koha Health, Raglan and Melville. Melville was really our primary focus community. Yeah, we feel like we've got a really good working model now in the program that we're running out in Melville, but for us now it's about taking it out to the wider community. But in doing that, we've realised that Melville isn't necessarily as connected as other communities are in Hamilton. So we're having to do... One of the cool things we found about this program is we created a community through it because we're bringing together groups who didn't know each other. We'll be running a thing called a big community Chae, a free and open dinner for all of the community to come along and just connect with one another. Because we're thinking, before you can build or ask questions or try to build off the community, it's creating that space and opportunity for the community to connect with themselves. So in this, we're just asking people to come along, have dinner, and meet some of your neighbours, talk to one another, get familiar, and just an opportunity that we wouldn't otherwise have out there. And the reasons for that is that we know that I think in the Waikato Alliance about 30% of people that live on their own. So we're really wanting to bring people out of isolation or perhaps feeling lonely and connecting them with their neighbours. And also the flip side of that is, being a reasonably high deprivation area, we know that we've got a lot of families there with children who otherwise couldn't afford to go out and have a nice dinner or take their kids out for things like that. So we wanted to create a really nice atmosphere of a 2-course dinner that's really long bench tables where families can come along and just sit and talk with one another and feel like they're out and connecting. And as part of that, talking about the things that are happening at Te Koha. The other side of things that we'll be doing in that is bringing in external groups, so council, possibly philanthropic funders, definitely all of Te Koha, the university, the district health boards and that, to look at who could partner with us and who would be interested in championing with us in the next iteration of this program. So ideally, the 3rd rollout that we'll have for this program will be a co-partnered, and we'll use some of the insights that we'll be gaining from our big community dinner to improve even more, and then partner out with a view to making this sustainable in the community with partners. So I I think when you're picking up the framework and looking at it for the first time and thinking, how can I apply this? It's really about understanding that it's a guideline. It's a very good, it's a really good piece to kind of understand how you're going or how you might start planning, but understand first and foremost that it's fluid. Just because you're at one point here, people change, things change, and you can continually monitor how you're going. And it's kind of nice in that way because you're often working with a lot of different audiences, a lot of different groups, and it can feel a bit overwhelming or confusing. And that framework is a good way to kind of step back, evaluate at any point in time and say, well, how's this actually going? And go, yeah, okay, this is working, but maybe I could fix something in here. So for that, it's amazing. But certainly I would reiterate that it's not about having everything 100% before you go out. It's bringing in other people, involving them, engaging them, and talking about how they want this program to work, how they see it working, and how it will work for them. Because I think that's where you can really start to get a lot more ownership and a better chance of sustainability past what your project terms and those types of things. Yeah, so I think in much as in life, the most important thing are people. Working with people, engaging with people, constantly asking, and just being flexible enough to change things when it doesn't work how you thought it would.